Hello and welcome to Can You Beat Supreme Commander 2's Cybran campaign with only assault bots. Cybran Nation and Supreme Commander 2 don't have any tanks, so Loyalist assault bots will be the subject of the challenge. This is their main frontline unit, so it's pretty similar to the Illuminant UEF tanks. The rolls are the same as before, and fails will be tallied at the end of each mission. Alright, so the first mission is Fact Finder. It's a defense mission where there'll be like 3 lanes, and Gage will send units, lots and lots of units at you. And this mission's very difficult on hard. It's very difficult on normal as well with Loyalists only, because that's what I had to do. I had to switch it to normal because it was far too difficult. Spent about 2 hours on hard difficulty, and it couldn't be done. I even tried using a transport and like flying my ECU away and hoping it'd be like mission 2 of the Illuminate campaign, hoping all the enemies would just sit still and forget what to do and kill the proto brain, but nope, they still killed it. Normal difficulty was difficult just because from the 3 lanes there'd be about the same number of units, so you can't really focus like a couple units on each lane. You really had to have like 1 army on each lane, which given your limited mass was just not doable. I also tried using factories as shields. That's how I was able to do it on normal difficulty, but technically I did have to break rule number 6, which isn't great to do for the first mission, but at least it sort of stays true to the Loyalist only build or challenge. And hopefully by the end I could say this mission was doable with Loyalists only. It's just I couldn't do it on hard difficulty, which is very unfortunate. Please do let me know if you're able to beat this mission using my rules and on hard difficulty, because I couldn't even make it past like the 5-minute mark before I'd get overwhelmed. It wasn't like I was getting close and then I might be able to hold out long enough. I was just getting absolutely destroyed. Yeah, I might try it again in the future, but for now, I had to beat on normal.
Your download has been interrupted.
This is unfortunate.
Mission 2, Trouble with Technology. This is definitely one of the most memorable missions, I'd say, out of all of Supreme Commander. Just because there's no other mission that's like it. There'll be engineers sent towards you, and they will build defense turrets and towers, and then they will reclaim, and worst of all, they will capture your units, which makes this mission very annoying, especially when you can't build point defenses and whatnot to take them out from range. Surprisingly, there's actually very little point defense, which is anti-land defense on this mission. It's mostly anti-air, which allowed me to push up quite far at first, and I thought I was doing pretty well, but there's a point where they'll just send like 7 or 8 engineers at the same time, and I don't know if I just lack the upgrades or I just don't have the income to produce enough Loyalists at the same time, but it's a snowball effect. As soon as like they capture a couple, it's like, well, do I focus down the engineers or do I focus down the Loyalists that they just captured? And so you don't really have the damage output to take down the engineers because they're pretty beefy. So I came up with a different idea, which actually worked out. I abandoned my base and got jump jet technology as soon as possible. I guess I also, looking back now, I could have used transport. Might have cost less research, but I took my ACU, flew out to this platform, and then I would fly out to the objective and capture it. Surprisingly, there's actually only like 2 point defenses attacking me at the objective, which I thought was very funny because I didn't think this would actually work. This is definitely the easiest way to get through this mission. I did fail once because I didn't have the health upgrades, so I just built some research stations and got some health upgrades, tried again, and there you go, it worked. Easy. Alright, the third mission is the Great Leap Forward. And this is where you have to go defend Zoe Snyder, whatever her name is, the big research conference building, whatever. And immediately, right off the bat, it's under attack. And you're sort of meant to use air units. Actually, they give you a decent number of air units right off the bat, good number of fighter bombers and gunships to go take out the force that's attacking. Obviously can't use those. And so the first thing I tried was just making factories at home, and I knew we get jump jet technology, the research upgrade for our land forces this game, and so I tried to rush out research stations to get that. However, the difficulty is if I build a bunch of units, by the time I got the research, I already lost because they destroyed the building, and vice versa. If I spend like the 375 it takes for a research station to upgrade the research process, by the time I unlocked it and got enough units to take them out, I also already lost. So the solution I came up with was using the handy dandy transport they give you. I sent my ACU over and I'd build factories. And using that, I'd try to build up as many units as possible. But the main thing that really saved me is the self-destruct or kamikaze ability for your land units, which I've never used before, and it's actually really good. If you send like 4 Loyalists into like a group of 10 Aeon units, and then like you get them like in the middle, so like the maximum surface area, and then you press the weird hotkey, it's like Alt-D or something, and like self-destruct them, it'll kill all of them, and it's great. The trick is to knowing when to use that ability and when to just engage in a battle, because obviously you don't want to self-destruct all your units when really you could have lost like a few units just in a regular engagement. So after you get a few factors up in the beginning, you actually defend for like 10 minutes, and around the 10-minute mark, this experimental will come and attack you, the Urchin now or whatever it's called, and it wouldn't really target my ACU, so I just had to do the trusted kamikaze to take it out, and that's actually a repeating theme for taking out experimentals during this mission, because the bots are just so weak. The best way to do it is definitely the kamikaze ability. There are also like neutral factories and mass extractors around the map I attempted to get, and those were not worth it, because as soon as you capture them, the squadron of planes that will like patrol the map periodically will go and attack and take it out, and you don't have the anti-air to take out the fighter bombers. So it's better just to either have the fighter bombers like loop back into your massive array of factories, or build factories at home to take them out. To take out the commander, just pretty simple, build up large army of Loyalists. Gotta be careful with the constant Urchinows that attack, but if you just keep building and then send a group and kamikaze into them, you'll be fine. And if you have anti-air to deal with the fire bombers, you're also fine. Best strat for taking out the commander, it's fantastic. You're literally a kamikaze airplane. You just fly in, because you have jump jets, and then you self-destruct on the commander, and it works out quite well. Dinosaur section, it's the final section of the mission. Interestingly enough, it actually waited around for like another Urchin now to be made, because I don't think I killed the experimental land gantry, and so it just waited. And then it came to the base along with another Urchin now, and luckily I just had to mass up even more and then get a good surround around it, and then self-destruct, and that would kill it as well. I tried a full-on engagement and the damage is just not there. The fourth mission is Gatekeeper, and this is where there are 3 commanders you have to take out. The first one is actually right next to you, to the right, and they just have land factories. Surprisingly, in the beginning, you don't really get attacked that much, and you really have a lot of time to build up. You can unlock the Mega Armor upgrade, which makes it so your Loyalists don't move very fast, but they have extra armor, and it's harder to kill them. And so you can activate the armor and fly in and kill the commander, or you can kamikaze on the commander, whichever you want. And killing the first commander is pretty easy. The only thing really to look out for would be there would be like a constant wave of gunships, which are very annoying. It helps to have your ACU always in the front to repair, because he can repair faster than an engineer, so he'll keep your factory from dropping. And then at one point there'll be a wave of 3 Urchinals just coming from the south, and I actually had to reload because I forgot that existed. And so you just gotta be aware of those and kamikaze them to take them out. And besides that, you can use the teleporter that's in the land base, teleport over, and then activate your mega armor, fly in, and either kill them or kamikaze, and then you can do that with the last guy, and you should be fine. I did kill the 3rd commander right after I killed the 2nd. I think you have to be careful because there's a Darkanoid, which is basically a flying UFO, and I think that might kill our good friends UEF and Illuminate person, Thalia and Maddox in the middle, but I didn't have that issue. The 5th mission is Surface Tension. In the beginning, there will be a group of destroyers that will walk on the land towards your base. The easiest way to deal with this is hunker your commander and have the boats attack your commander while you attack the boats with your loyalists. The issue with this, though, is that the boats will sometimes retarget your loyalists, and then you won't have enough DPS to take them out. So another method is just use a wave and take out as many as possible, and hopefully your ACU can just hunker and not die while you build more loyalists out of your factories and attack the boats again. After that, your loyalists will be used to defend your base from boats, which will come from the south. But they'll almost always just walk on the land, so they're pretty easy to take out. And the other problem, which is the main issue of all the tank only and assault bot only missions, is the gunships, because shields are useless against them. They just fly under the shield for the most part, so they just attack your structures, and they're really annoying. And like always, the best way is building a few extra shields and just building a lot of land factories to deal with this. Afterwards, you can just send your loyalists to the edge and jetpack them over and kill the commander like normal. The 6th and final mission of Supreme Commander 2 is the final countdown, where you finally face off against Gage, and this mission is very difficult. I think even with no challenge, it's very difficult, given he'll have access to Illuminate and Cybran experimentals, and multiple experimentals will be sent at you at the same time, so it's very challenging. The first thing is surviving past the 3-minute mark, because this is very difficult. You're given a decent number of units, and you actually are given 2 boats. So if you don't just self-destruct all your units, you can just use them to tank damage. And surprisingly, this beginning portion can go very different ways. Sometimes I will die instantly, like a megalith will show up around the 3-minute mark and I won't have anything. Sometimes I'll have a good number of units. I guess it depends on how well I use my shields, micro my units, and if I can use the boats to tank damage. It would go a variety of ways. I tried using factories as shields. I tried building and focusing on loyalists. I tried using my commander as a shield. There's a lot of luck, I think, because the units will target different things, and this year's the megalith has quite a bit of range. And every time I got close to the megalith, it would just destroy all my loyalists by the time they get close enough to self-destruct or do any damage. And sometimes I could get the Megalith target the ACU, but for the most part it would just engage on the Loyalist, and then I just wouldn't have anything. I tried using like energy generators because they have a self-destruct ability. So I tried using those. I tried using self-destruct with Loyalists, and I tried using just maximum damage with Loyalists. And I had mixed results with all of them. What seemed to work was luck. Eventually, I got to the point where the Megalith would show up, and I managed to keep one boat alive, and I had a decent number of land units still. And so I made a save, and then I just continually repeated that section until finally I got it, and it was very close. It was a matter of like tanking with the ACU and then moving the ACU behind the factory, and then the factory will act as a shield. I think if you have a group of Loyalists and the Megalith like sees them, they'll just instantly target them, so you have to like move them away to like let the Megalith target your ACU, and then finally it'll target the ACU and you can move the Loyalists in. It was very close. But I rejoiced as I finally got past the 3-minute mark, and then you actually are able to get quite far, like 20-minute mark, and you're able to survive for quite a while. All land units, for the most part, can be dealt with your Loyalists. There'll be engineers coming from the left and right, which aren't that big of a deal. If you just send like 20 Loyalists, 25 Loyalists over there, you can use the jetpack, and it works out quite well. There's a lot of reclaim behind the base that you can use, a lot of experimentals to reclaim, so you actually can get a pretty good economy going. I think the main challenge is eventually there'll be a Colossus coming to your base, and that Colossus will have like 2 Megaliths with it, and it's impossible to kill. It's so difficult to kill. Along with that, after that there'll be a Soul Ripper with other gunships and bombers. Bombers aren't usually a problem. It's the gunships that are the big issue. And you can see I have lots and lots of factories, and it's just you can't produce enough land units to take out the Colossus, and then the gunships will come in and take out your factories, and it's just extremely difficult. So what I figured out is the very first time I fought the Colossus, I actually sent a group of like 10 Loyalists over to kill one of the generator things. You have to kill like these shield generators, and then once you kill all 4, then you can actually attack Gage, because he's invulnerable. I tested it. His base is not invulnerable, but himself, he cannot be attacked at all until you take out these 4 structures. But they aren't really guarded. You have the waves of 10 engineers, and then you have maybe a couple point defenses. So first I used one huge wave of land units, and I would take out the right side of the generators, and then I would fly over to test out Gage. Yep, he's still invulnerable, obviously. And then after that, I realized he had experimentals in his main base, so I would have to kill him really quickly. So I reloaded, I built up even more, and I split my forces. I moved my commander to the back of the base, because with all the factories, it would actually take a really long time for all of the units to kill all my things. And then I could actually fly away with an ACU head if I had to. So I split my forces left and right, and they killed all 4 of the generators. And at this point, Gage actually launches nukes, because Shiva Prime or whatever will send out like air units, which don't really affect us too much. And I had enough Loyalists. I gathered them up to the left of his base, and I flew them over, and I took out Gage, and that was the end of the mission. I don't know if this mission is actually possible. I think this mission is very difficult, just like normally, with no challenge, because there's so much stuff sent towards you, but I'm not sure I could beat it without that. But yeah, I think that's it. I beat the game. Beat Speed Commander 2 using Loyalists only, using the limit tanks and rocket tanks only, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to do. Next up, I think I'll either move to, I could do another challenge for Super Mario 2, or I'll move on to Super Mario 1 and Forged Alliance. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it.